Hello everyone, so welcome you all to another random tutorial. This is the Sineth. So today we are going to talk about image text extraction with Pytesseract. So before moving to today's tutorial, I would like to tell you that if you are interested in learning computer science, software engineering or any of the field regarding to information technology, so please feel free to subscribe into my channel. I am planning to do different kind of tutorials and reviews, project ideas and many more throughout my channel. Okay, let us move into our today's topic. As I previously mentioned, our today's topic is about image text extraction with Pytesseract. So basically it is about optical character recognition using Python language and related modules, right? Okay, so before moving to our practical implementations, let me to explain you about basic theories that you have to be known, right? So as I previously mentioned, with our Python implementations, we are going to use different kind of modules. So our basic module regarding to implementations is Pytesseract. So before talking about Pytesseract, we have to talk about Tesseract, right? Tesseract is an optical character recognition tool which can be used to extract written text from different type of image files, right? So this Tesseract HOCR was originally developed by Google, and using Tesseract you will be able to extract written text using two methods. The first method is using the commands from command terminal, and the next method is API implementations, which means you can go through software API implementations, then you will be able to get extracted outputs, right? So Tesseract is Unicode supportive and it can recognize more than 100 languages, and it is supporting different kind of output formats such as plain text, HTML, PDF, TSV, XML and many more. And also the output of the accuracy and the integrity of the output from Tesseract is totally depends on the quality of your input image, right? So whenever you want to extract written text from input image, so please be aware about the quality of your input image, because the output of your output of Tesseract module is totally depend on the quality of your input image, right? Okay, so how to install Tesseract? So before moving with implementation, the first prerequisite that you have to be followed is you have to install Tesseract, right? So what you have to do is, first of all, you have to download and install relevant binary modules which suit for your operating system, right? So if you want to know about those binary packages, what you have to do is you have to go through this particular reference, then you have to pick out the relevant operating system and find out the most relevant binary for your operating system and download and install it, right? By the way, I'm going to mention a downloadable link to this particular notebook and other relevant project resources, so you will be able to download and work through this particular notebook also, right? So this is about Tesseract installation, right? So right, so in here you can see that there are different kind of binaries are available. So if you are Ubuntu user, you can go through this. If you are a Debian, you can go through this. So if you are a Windows user, what you have to do is you have to go through this particular section. Then inside this section you can see that there are two downloadable installers that you can go through, and if you are a 32-bit processor user, then you can go through this line, and if you are a 64-bit user, simply you can go through this installer and download it into your computer and install. And pretty much when considering about the installation, it is pretty much straightforward. You can go through very simply and get to install it into your computer. Whenever you have installed that particular Tesseract OCR into your computer, what you have to do next is you have to copy the installation path and you have to add that path into your path variable, right? As you all know, we are doing different kind of environment variable editings in our basic configurations. So likewise, what you have to do is you have to copy the installation path of your Tesseract OCR, then you have to append that path into your path variable. So basically your the location of your Tesseract OCR which has been installed into your computer is C program files and Tesseract OCR, right? So if you have installed your Tesseract OCR into this location, you can simply copy the reference location and add into your path variable. Then whenever you have done all those steps which I have been explained, what you have to do is simply type Tesseract command. Okay, what you have to do is simply type Tesseract command in your command prompt. Then you will be able to get to know about status of your Tesseract installation. So as I have previously successfully downloaded and installed and configured everything that I have to be followed in Tesseract OCR, I can simply go through this module, right? Then it will prompt me about the relevant options regarding to Tesseract module, which means that I have installed and configured Tesseract OCR module, Tesseract OCR successfully, right? So let me to move into the next section. What is Pytesseract? So Pytesseract is about it is a wrapper module for Tesseract OCR engine, right? As I previously mentioned, our today's tutorial is about API implementations regarding to Tesseract OCR, right? So our main language is Python language. So what we are going to do is we are going to interact with Tesseract OCR which have been installed into our computer, right? What we are going to do is we are going to interact with Tesseract OCR using Python language. So in this intermediate layer of Python and Tesseract OCR, there should be a bridge to make the connection between Tesseract OCR and my Python interpreter. So to make that intermediate bridge between those two sides, what I have to use is I have to use a particular module which is capable for create me an interface for engage with Tesseract OCR and Python interpreter. So that particular module is Pytesseract. So this Pytesseract module is also developed by Google, right? And it is a third-party module, which means that you have to download and install it into your computer explicitly, right? So if you want to download Pytesseract, you can go through pip install Pytesseract, and whenever you have download and installed Pytesseract, you can go through import Pytesseract. If you have import Pytesseract successfully, which means that you have your installation regarding to Pytesseract is successfully completed, right? So whenever you have configured excuse me, whenever you have configured Tesseract module and also Pytesseract module, Tesseract OCR and Pytesseract module, then you can go through real-time Python implementations. Okay, so let us move into our real-time implementations. What I have done in this particular section is I have imported relevant modules, right? So you can see OpenCV, OS module, and pillow library and Pytesseract, and I have imported my Pytesseract module as an alias called PT for my ease of usage. Then I have done a simple thing in here. So before moving to this section, let me to explain you about my project structure. So this is my project structure. You can see that in here you can see that there is a directory called test images. Inside this test images directory, there are different kind of image files which are present, right? As I previously mentioned, we have to engage with Tesseract OCR by using different kind of images, right? So we have to use different kind of images for different kind of purposes. To demonstrate you about those purposes, I have previously downloaded different kind of images from internet. So those images are available in this test images directory. So you can see that there are different kind of images in different kind of resolution, sizes and languages, and they are very much differ from each other, that those images will be used for our future implementations. So this is the path for my test images directory. I have created a lambda function. So whenever I have passed a file name, then that file name will be concatenated into this particular this particular path, right? So whenever I have passed a name into this function, file name into this function, just only the file name, that file name will be concatenated into these test images and create the actual and the real file path regarding to that particular file, image file, right? So to do that all stuffs, I have created this particular lambda function. Then I have got each and every image file using os.list directory method. Then I will be able to print each and every test images using this particular for loop. You can see that these are each and every file which present in my test images directory, right? So this particular cell is totally my ease, right? So it is only for my ease. So if you are not preferring to do this kind of stuff, so simply you can ignore about that one, right? This is another function which I have created for my ease again, right? So this function is basically capable for showing an image whenever I have passed the path to that image and size that image should be displayed, right? So whenever I have passed the path to my image and the size that it should be displayed, this particular function will be able to show me that image, right? So let me to execute this function also. Okay, so let me to move into the next section. So our next section is about configure Tesseract path in implementations, right? As I previously explained, we have to configure our Tesseract OCR before moving to implementations, right? If you haven't configured your path variable, then you will be able to configure your Tesseract OCR in implementations, right? What you have to do is you have to get tesseract.exe executable files path, right? So which means that if you have installed Tesseract, right? So let me just show as my installation. You can see that in program files there is directory called Tesseract OCR. In this directory, this is the installation directory of my Tesseract OCR. You can see that there is an executable called Tesseract, right? So this is that file. So what I am going to do is I'm going to copy the absolute path for this Tesseract executable and paste it into here, right? And I'm going to convert it into a raw string. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure my Pytesseract.cmd as this provided path to my Tesseract executable, right? So whenever I have executed this particular cell, which means that it is going to configure the path Tesseract OCR into my Pytesseract module, right? As I previously mentioned, Tesseract is supporting different kind of languages, and there are different kind of available languages in Tesseract. So if you want to know about what are the available languages in your Tesseract OCR, simply you can go through this particular command and paste it into your command prompt, right? Tesseract --list-langs. Then you will be able to see what are the languages that are available in your current Tesseract OCR, right? You can see that ENG, OSD. So these are the two languages that are available in your Tesseract OCR. So if you want to prompt those languages in implementations, what you have to do is you have to simply execute this particular piece of code, then you will be able to see the available languages in this manner, right? So the Tesseract is supporting 100 languages, but it is only printing 2 languages. So what's the reason behind that? The reason is that if we want to work with any of the language instead of these 2 languages, what we have to do is we have to download and install and configure them according to some protocol. Then only we will be able to work with those languages, right? Otherwise we will not be able to work with those languages. What we have to do is we have to download and configure with Tesseract HOCR, right? So our next topic is extract text from an image. So this is about simple text extraction. What I am going to do is I am going to get my second test image, right? So this test image files list is simply this one, which means this contains those test images, right? So from those test images, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the second indexed image, which means third image path. Then I'm going to create the real path by passing image path to create path lambda function. Then I'm going to open that image as a pillow image. Then using Pytesseract.image to string method, I'm going to pass my image into this method. Then I will be end up with the written text of my input image, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to print the text which has been written in my input image, and I'm going to display my image by passing path to show image function, which I have created for my ease, right? So let me to execute this particular cell. Then you can see that it will take some time. Okay, we have to wait, right? Here we go. You can see that the text has been rendered successfully. So this is the text that is corresponding to the written text of this particular image, right? You can see that the text and the text which has been rendered and the text which has been written is not similar. It's not exactly same, but it's almost and it's somewhat same, which means it's nearly same, right? We can't expect 100% of accuracy from Tesseract HOCR, right? This is not very much intelligent tool like human, right? So therefore it's somewhat nearest to the intelligence of humans, right? So let me to try with another image. So you can see that this is basically a letter. So you can see that this is very much similar to the text which has been written in real image, right? So you can see that the image has been rendered successfully. Okay, let me to move into the next section. Our next section is about extract text from an image, which is specifying a language. Now we are going to specify a language explicitly. So before moving to the languages, you can go through this particular reference. You can see, check out here to download different language data files, right? So if you want to work with a language which is not already installed, which means if you want to work with a language which is not already installed, which is not a language which is available in your current Tesseract installation, what you have to do is you have to download those languages and play around, right? So before going to those kind of stuffs, let me to explain you about this thing, right? So these are my text images. So among those text images, what I am going to select is I am going to select a text, an image which has been written in Hindi language, which is not English, right? So basically Pytesseract dot image to string method is capable for extracting images which has been written in English language. If we are using an image which has been written in any of the language instead of English, then it will behave in different manner, right? So let me to explain you this in. So the name of my file is hindinews2.jpg. What I am going to do is I am going to select the name of my file. So hindinews2.jpg, this is the name of my file. I am going to pass it into here, and until now I am going to erase this particular thing, and simply I am going to extract the text which has been written here. Okay, this is interesting, right? So you can see that the image has been written in Hindi language, but the output has rendered in English. So in these cases you can see that whenever we are using any of the image which has been written in any language instead of English, at that time Pytesseract is not capable to identify those languages and adapt to those languages and give outputs according to them, right? So whenever we are interacting with any of the image file which has been written in any language instead of English, what we have to do is we have to tell explicitly to Pytesseract, hey Pytesseract, in this time you have to engage with this particular language, otherwise I will not be able to read your content. So this particular image is written in this language, then please render the captured text in only this particular language, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Pytesseract to get me the string regarding to the image in Hindi language, right? So I'm going to tell my language is Hindi, right? But this is not the correct syntax which we have to be followed, right? So whenever you are using any of the language instead of English, what you have to do is you have to simply tell the language code regarding to your language, right? So if you want to know about different languages which are available in if you want to know about different languages which are available in Pytesseract, so you can simply go through this particular link. You can see that, you can see the checkout here to learn about languages and their codes available in Tesseract. So you can see that it is still loading. What we have to follow is we have to be aware with languages and their codes. So you can see that there are different kind of languages which you can be used with Pytesseract, and their related language codes are available here, right? So you can see that these are the languages, and these are the respective language codes, and these are about what we called the availability of different versions of those languages, right? We are not interested about those any of the column, right? So if you want to work with, let's say if you want to work with Italian language, the language code regarding to Italian is ITA. So if you want to work with Italian in Pytesseract implementations, what you have to specify is ITA as your language value, right? So if you want to work with Hindi, what you have to do is you have to select Hindi from here, right? Hindi from here, there we go. So the related code is HIN. So instead of typing Hindi, you have to type HIN. Then let me to execute this one, right? Probably this will end up with an error. Okay, here we go. You can see that this is the error, Tesseract error, which is telling Tesseract couldn't load any languages, could not initialize Tesseract. So what does this mean is that if we are using Hindi language, but we are using Hindi language, we want to use Hindi language, but the problem is Hindi is not available as a available language in Tesseract HOCR. What you have to do is you have to download and configure Hindi language explicitly, then only you will be able to work with Hindi language, right? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to download and configure Hindi language. So in here you can see, check out here to download different language data files. What I'm going to do is I'm going to refer this particular line. So you can see that we have redirected to a list of language files. So these are different kind of language files, right? So those each and every files are supported with Tesseract HOCR, right? So what we are going to use from this is we are going to use Hindi language language file, right? What we are going to download and install Hindi language file. So we have to be aware with the prefix of each and every file and search. So whenever we have found any file which started with Hindi, HIN, right, which is started with HIN, which is the language code of my preferred language, then I have to download each and every those files explicitly, right? So you can see that we are searching for HIN. You can see that there are different kind of language files are available here, right? So what you have to do is it's the best practice to download each and every HIN prefixed files explicitly, right? Okay, if you want to work with any other language, what you have to do is simply go through this set of files and find the relevant files for your related language or languages, then simply download them into your local machine, right? So my further cases, I am going to use different kind of languages to ease my works. What I have done already is I have downloaded each and every language file that that will be useful for me, right? So I have downloaded each and every language file already, right? So what I am going to do from these languages is I am going to select hin.train data, which is the language file of Hindi language. Then I am going to cut that particular language file, and what I am going to do is I am going to simply going to the location where Tesseract HOCR has been installed. Then what I am going to do is I am going to this test data directory and simply paste this HIN Hindi language file, right? Whenever it has been successfully moved into test data directory, what I am going to do is I am going to my command prompt and type, so let me to clear up my prompt, this particular command, then I will be able to see Hindi language as a available language, right? You can see that there is another language has been added instead of ENG and OSD, it is Hindi, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute this one again. So let's see what happens. Okay, you can see that everything has been done successfully, right? You can see that the text contained in the image has been rendered in Hindi language as we are preferring, right? You can see that it is very much clear and perfect, right? So likewise, if you want to work with Japanese language, what you have to do is you have to download and install Japanese download the language file for Japanese language, right? So as I previously told you that I have downloaded several languages files. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut each and every language files from here and paste it into test data directory, right? They are moving to my desired location. I'm going to move each and every one here, and what I'm going to do again is I'm going to prompt available languages. You can see that each and every language have been added into my test data of Tesseract HOCR installed location, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a Japanese content. So I'm preferring, so okay, let me to work with a Portuguese text, right? Portuguese. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify the file path and the relevant language code for Portuguese is POR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention POR as language. That's all. Let's move into the execution now. So here we go. Now you can see that the text has been rendered in Portuguese language, right? You can see that this is the rendered language is very much similar to the language that have been written in our image, right? Okay, so let us move into the next section. Extract text from an image, multiple images once. So whenever you want to extract text from multiple images once, then you have to follow this particular thing, right? What you have to do is you have to maintain a text file, right? So I have created a text file in the in test images, right? Sorry, in this test images directory. You can see that there is a text file called image paths. What I'm going to do from this image paths is I'm going to open this one, right? So you can see that I have mentioned two paths for two related images in image paths text file, right? So this is a path for a particular image and this is a path for another particular image, right? Likewise, I have to mention the relevant and the regarding paths to each and every image which I am going to be used as multiple images, right? If I want to use 10 images, if I want to extract text from 10 images once, what I'm going to do is I should create a text file and I have to mention each and every path regarding to 10 images that I am preferring with, right? So likewise, I have mentioned two paths for my multiple images. Then this multiple image path file will be saved in text format, right? Then I have to give the relevant path to this particular file, right? So this is the path for my image paths, multiple image paths, right? So each and every path should be separated from a new line, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use image to string method in Pytesseract and pass the path for images, and I have to specify the language that is going to be used. So since these images have been written in let me show you. So these are the images in Japanese text 1, Japanese text 2. So my preferred language should be, so me to show you again, Japanese text 1, Japanese text 2. So you can see that those images have been written in Japanese language. So what I have to do is I have to tell the language as language specifically as JPN, which is the language code correspond to Japanese. Then I am going to print the extracted text from multiple images once. So it will take some time to execute, to complete the execution. So let us see. Right, here we go. So this is the content of my first image and this is the content of my next image. So each and every contents, all the contents have been rendered as a one particular text. So that's the fascinating thing behind it. So this is the content for my first image and this is the content for my next image. So first and two image contents have been rendered as a one particular content, right? So that's the fascinating thing behind this particular section. Okay, let's move into the next section, extract text from an image. This is about timeout extraction, right? So what we are going to do from here is that we are going to extract text from an image, right? So to extract and extract written text from an image, we are giving some particular time period to Pytesseract. What we are going to tell to Pytesseract is, hey Tesseract, I will give you some time. I will give you 2 seconds. Within that 2 seconds, you have to complete your extraction. Otherwise, I will terminate your extraction. I'm not going to conduct you furthermore, right? So we are telling, we are giving a particular time period to Tesseract to complete the extraction. Whenever the time period has end up, the Pytesseract have to give up the extraction progress, right? So that's all about timeout expression. So let me to select so what I'm going to use for this time is this particular newspaper, right? The file name is news2.jpg. so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select news2.jpg file path and paste it into here, and my language is simply English. I'm going to give a timeout about 0.5 seconds, which means I'm giving 0.5 seconds to Pytesseract to extract each and every text from this image. Whenever my period has end up, Tesseract should be able to give up the text extraction and end up with an error, right? So whenever Tesseract will not be able to complete text extraction within my given time period, it will end up with an timeout error. Otherwise, it will give me the relevant extracted text, right? So let me do execute this one. So you can see that image has been displayed successfully, but the thing is it has given a timeout error, which means that no text to be appeared, which means the text has not been rendered successfully because the time period which I have given is not required to Pytesseract to complete extraction successfully. So let me to increase it into 0.9 seconds. Then it will take 0.9 seconds to extract. So you can see that timeout error has been again created. So let me to give 1 second. So you can see that a timeout error has been created, which means that 1 second the Pytesseract need more than 1 second to complete the extraction of provided image which I have provided, right? So let me to increase it into 1.5 seconds. So let us see, it's not required. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give 2 seconds, then we will see what happens. It's not required. I'm going to give 5 seconds. Okay, then only Pytesseract will able to extract the text. text successfully, right? So you can see that all the contents regarding to my newspaper has been rendered successfully, right? So we can prefer a timeout period. Then within that timeout period, we can advise to Pytesseract to complete extraction whenever the time has been end up with, right? Okay, so let us move into the next section, get bounding box estimates. This is very much interesting section which is available in Pytesseract implementations. So what does this mean is that we will be able to get bounding box, right, which means we will be able to get bounding rectangles regarding to each and every character, each and every letter present in our image, right? So we can draw those bounding rectangles and see how those images, those letters has been recognized by Pytesseract. So simply it is about drawing bounding rectangles regarding to selected letters in an image, right? Okay, so I'm going to use okay, so let me to select okay, so I'm going to use this particular bound text2.jpg image file to extract to draw bounded rectangles. So let me to pick up the relevant file name, bound text2.jpg. Then I'm going to paste it into here, and my language is English. It's not used to specify the language specifically, but I'm using it here, right? So you can see that image has been rendered successfully. So let me to close this and explain you about what does this mean. So what we have done is we have opened an image as a pillow image by passing our path. Then what we have used is we have used image to boxes method in Pytesseract, and we have passed our image, and we have specifically told the language of our image, and we will end up with different bounding rectangle data. Then I have print out the bounding rectangle. So you can see that there are 5 columns, which is so each and every character, you can see that each and every character which present in the text, for each and every character which present in the image text has assigned to 4 not 4, it has assigned to 5 specific data, right? So you can see that in W 1 2 3 4 5, for E 171486217545450. Likewise, there are 5 columns for each and every character. So those columns stands for coordinates for each and every character, right? So this particular coordinate stands for X coordinate, this is for Y coordinate, this is for W coordinate, which means width coordinate, this is for height coordinate, and this is, and we are not interested with this the last column. We only interested in those 4 columns, right? Those 4 data only, right? So in the next, what we have done is we have read our image as an OpenCV image. So in our previous attempt, we have opened our image as a pillow image. So to draw bounded rectangles, what we have to do is we have to open our image in as a OpenCV image. Then I'm going to get the shape of my image, which means I'm going to get the height of my image using image.shape, right? Those 2 modules have been those 2 values have been neglected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split the lines of my bounding rectangles. So this is basically a string, right? This is basically string. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get each and every line, right? Each and every line from this whole bunch of string, right? So each and every line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stripe, which means I'm going to remove the outer spaces from the string, and I'm going to split my string by spaces, which means that if I have selected this particular row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this row by this delimited space. So my delimiter is space. It's going to separate my whole row by spaces, which means we will end up with a list contains 1 2 3 4 5 6 elements, right? From that element list, this is that particular list which contains different data for a particular row. What we are going to do is we are going to draw a bounding rectangle by using OpenCV.rectangle method. Then we have to pass image, and this is our x coordinate and this is our y coordinate, right? So we have to tell x and y coordinate. So to get y coordinate, we have to get the b2 element, and we have to convert into integer type. And what we have to do is we have to subtract our height from y value we have been end up with. Likewise, we have to get width value, and we have to multiply height by the height value, b4 value, right? We have to convert b4 into integer manner, and we have to subtract height of the image by this particular value. Then only we will be able to get x, y, width and height coordinates, height points, and this is the color that a particular rectangle should be in, and this is the width of the border width of our rectangle, and then simply it's going to be displayed, right? So let me to execute this one. So you will end up with a bounded rectangle image. So you can see each and every character have been successfully bounded by a rectangle which is in color green and which is in width 2 pixels, right? So that's all about bounded rectangle coordinates. So if you want to try with another image with another language, so let me to pick up another, right? Let me to go through this Japanese text, Japanese text1.png. So I'm going to pick out Japanese text1.png from here. So I'm going to pass it into here, and my language is not English, furthermore it's Japanese. Then I'm going to get bounding box estimates, bounding rectangle data, right? So you can see images has been the data has been rendered successfully. Then I'm going to get, okay, here we go, this is our characterized image. So you can see that each and every image, each and every character have been bounded with a particular rectangle, right? Okay, so let me to move into next section, get verbose data including boxes, confidences, line and page numbers. So this is basically a simple code. So what we are going to use is that we are going to create a path and open an image as we previously discussed. So the fancy thing behind this particular section is we are going to use image to data method in Pytesseract, and we have to pass image, and we can print the text from that image. So that particular text is capable for data regarding to including boxes, confidences, line and page numbers of our input image. So let me to execute this particular piece of code. Okay, let me to try with another. Okay, here we go. So let me to zoom out my notebook, so you can see that these are the different kind of the names for my columns. Level, so the first column is level, next one is page number, next one is block number, this is paragraph number, right? This is for line number, and this is for word number. So there is an address for a particular word, so block number, paragraph number, line number, word number, page number. So using those references we will be able to identify a particular text, particular word or something. So this is left coordinate, this is the top coordinate, which means left coordinate, top coordinate, width and height coordinate. These coordinates are capable for bounded rectangle coordinates, and these the next row is responsible for the confidence levels for each and every text, and this final row is capable, not row, the final column is capable for the word responsible for that particular row, right? So you can see that this is the text, right? This is the text, weak text. So the confidence level is about 95.68, which is already about 96%, and the height point is 59 pixel, and the width coordinate is 206, and the top point is 129, left point is 123, and the word number is 1, line number is 1, paragraph number is 1, block number is 1, page is first page, and the level is about 5. Likewise, we will be able to derive different kind of information using this particular chart, right? This is mostly used for analyzing methods whenever you are engaging with different kind of image to text applications. So if you want to do different kind of analyzations and different kind of data distributions, so definitely you will be able to this will important for your purposes, right? So let's move into the next section quickly. So our next section is about get information about orientation and script detection. So in here, please be aware with here's implementations. So if you are going to do implementations with this particular piece of code, your image should be a massive content image, which means your image should have more number of letters, words, and your image should have a big content. Otherwise this particular piece of code will not work properly. So let me to show you an example. So let me to pick a simple image from here. So I'm going to use this bound text2.jpg image, right? bound text2.jpg image, and I'm going to pass it here, and I'm going to get image to OSD, which means orientation and script detection, and my language is English. Then I'm going to execute this particular piece of code. So you can see that the output has been rendered successfully because my image contains a good content, right? So if I am going to work with hello text.jpg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it here and execute this particular code. Okay, so you will end up with Tesseract error, which is telling that detects only orientation with -1 and blah blah blah, invalid resolution 0 dpi, using 70 instead, too few characters, skipping this page error during processing, which means that your image contains small amount of characters which is not supported for this particular piece of code. So whenever you are engaging with these particular implementations, what you have to be aware with is that your image should be in good content, and the number of letters of your image should be comparatively higher than other images, right? So if you are using an image of few characters, then probably you will not be able to get desired outputs in this particular with this particular image to OSD function, right? So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use one of my favorite article, news2.jpg. Then I'm going to pass the related file name to here, news2.jpg, then I will end up with right, this is the orientation and script detection details. So you can see that this is the page number. So this is about orientation in degrees. So you can see that each and every image should have an orientation. So this is the value in degrees regarding to the orientation of our input image. This is about the rotation, and this is about orientation confidence, and script is Latin, script confidence is 2. So let me to try a Hindi content. I would like to go with this one, right? So I have to change the language into Hindi, right? Then we will end up with, here we go, we will end up with a new report of orientation and script detection. Page number is 0, orientation in degrees 270, rotate 90. So orientation confidence has somewhat decreased 76, and the script is Latin, and the confidence is about 2, right? Okay, so that's all about get information about orientation and script detection, right? So our next section is about convert into different file formats, PDF, XML, HOCR, right? This is another very much super interesting section, because using Pytesseract, using Tesseract, you will be able to convert your image into different formats and save in your computer locally, right? So what we are going to do is, simply I am going to use this newspaper article, right? I'm going to copy news2.jpg path and paste into here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the path, and my file save path is here, files. So let me to execute this one, and this in this section what we are going to do is we are going to convert our image into PDF. So what we are going to do is we are going to use image to PDF or HOCR method, which is present in Pytesseract, and we have to pass the real path for our image, and the extension should be PDF, which means that our image our image should be converted into PDF manner. Then in the next section what we have done is we have saved our PDF file in this particular path, which means the files directory. So you can see that. So let me show you. In my project, you can see that there is a directory called files. In files, you can see this folder is currently empty, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my PDF file in this files directory, and the name of my PDF file should be pdf-content.pdf, and I have opened this particular file in write and read mode, and my file is in binary format. Then I'm going to write the PDF content into my file, and I'm going to close that particular file. So let me to execute this particular content. So whenever we have successfully completed this cell, so let me to move into my file section. There we go. You can see that a new file has been created called PDF content PDF file. So let me to open up this PDF file here. So this is a PDF file which is corresponding to the input image which we have input in our implementations, right? So let me to open this PDF content. So here we go now. So you can see that this is the PDF which is correspond to the input image which we have been input into our right. So this input image has been converted into PDF manner, right? Likewise, you will be able to convert your image into HOCR manner. So HOCR is open standard of data representation for formatted text obtained from OCRs. So this is a specified type of files for optical character recognizers. So what you have to do is simply you have to call image to PDF or HOCR method, and you have to pass path as previously. Then the only change is you have to tell your extension is HOCR. Then simply you have to save your file in HTML format, right? So your file is write and read in binary format, and you have to write the content of HOCR into your file and close your file. So this particular HOCR HTML file will be saved into our files directory, which is present in our project structure, right? So you can see that this is HOCR content. So let me to start open up this particular file. So you can see that this is the HOCR content which correspond to the input image of our newspaper, right? So if you want to convert your input image into XML format, what you have to do is you have to call Pytesseract.image to all image to alto XML method. So you have to pass the path for your image. So whenever you have successfully completed this particular line, you will end up with XML content correspond to your input image. Then you have to save your XML file as XML content.xml in your files directory. So this particular file also should be in write and read binary format, and you have to write your file by passing XML content into your file.write method. Then at the end you have to close your file, right? So let me to execute this particular cell also. Okay, let's move into the file directory. So you will end up with the XML content. So let me to open this XML content as we previously done, right? So you will end up with the corresponding XML file. So it is still right here we go now. So this is the XML content which is corresponding to our input image, which is a newspaper content, right? So this is about the XML content which is correspond to our input image, right? Okay, so let me to close this each and every tab. Our next the final section for our today's tutorial is forcefully assigning different assumptions, custom configurations, right? So as we all know that Pytesseract is work with different kind of built-in configurations. So if we want to work, if we want to assign different kind of custom configurations to Pytesseract, how we should be able to do such kind of things? So which means that if we want to tell Pytesseract about different kind of assumptions, right? So if we want to tell Pytesseract, so hey Pytesseract, assume that suppose that you should be able to do this thing in this manner, right? I will do use so we are telling that Pytesseract to so this image is about this one, right? This image is like this kind of image, this image is like this kind of image. Likewise, we are supporting Pytesseract to get relevant predictions more accurately and with a good integrity, right? So likewise, we will be able to we can tell Pytesseract and we can help Pytesseract to get some kind of good results by providing different kind of assumptions. So those kind of explicit assumptions are called as custom configurations. So before moving to custom configurations, you should be able to know about two concepts. The first concept is OEM. It is about OCR engine mod, right? So our Tesseract is using different kind of algorithms for text extractions. So from those algorithms, which algorithm we should be used for extractions? So that particular term is stand for OEM, and the PEM, which is most commonly helpful parameter, if not the term, it is about page segmentation mode. And using this PEM term, we can tell Tesseract to we can explicitly tell about the segmentation mode that Pytesseract should be able to be followed, right? We can tell, hey Tesseract, use this particular segmentation mode and use this particular engine mode to get extractions from my current input image. Likewise, we can give different kind of hints, different kind of advices to Pytesseract to accomplish our results, and at the final we will be able to get somewhat of supervised outputs, right? Somewhat of supervised output from Pytesseract OCR, right? So there are different kind of page segmentation modes, right? So I will explain you about those page segmentation modes in a minute. So before that, let me to explain you about our code section. So this is so in here we have to pass image path, then we have to create our image path, and this is our custom configuration. So we are using OEM3, which is OCR engine mode is 3. So we are telling Pytesseract to use, hey Tesseract, use this engine mode for my current input, current text extraction. So we are forcefully telling Tesseract to use algorithm 3 for extractions regarding to my current input, right? And next, what we have told is, we have told a page segmentation mode as 9. So these is the references for page segmentation mode. So 9th segmentation mode is capable for treat the image as a single word in a circle, right? We are telling Pytesseract to treat the image as a single word in a circle. We are telling, hey Tesseract, so you should think the image is in a circle. So in the image there is a word in a circle, right? We are helping Tesseract, and we are providing different kind of advices to Tesseract, and Tesseract will be supervised by our advices, and it will give us good results by our site support, if not our supervision, right? So likewise, we can give our explicit supervision to Tesseract to accomplish different kind of goals and results. So likewise, if you want to assume a single uniform block of text, if you want to tell this kind of segmentation mode, so you have to use the relevant code for your segmentation mode and pass it into here. So that's all about segmentations, about forcefully assigning different kind of assumptions or custom configurations. So let me to explain you about this particular thing by a picture demonstration, right? So in here what I'm going to use is okay, I will use this particular text, right? abc text.jpg, right? So I'm going to copy the path for my abc text file, then I'm going to read my image and extract information, extract text using this particular custom configuration. So without custom configuration, I'm going to extract string using extract the text without explicitly specifying about custom configuration. So you can see that it will take some time. Okay, so the output is an empty string. So without a custom configuration, the Tesseract has given us a empty string. So let me to get the outputs by custom configurations now. So then you will be able to understand the difference between custom configurations and default configurations, right? Here we go, right? So whenever we haven't passed any custom configurations, it has given us a empty string. So whenever we have used custom configurations, it has given us a string with characters, but it's not same as the content, it's not same as the content regarding to of input image, but anyway there is a difference between custom configurations and default configurations in Pytesseract, right? It will ease our life, it will help full for different kind of crucial predictions and crucial extractions whenever we are using and whenever we are interacting with Pytesseract, right? So these are the references which I have gone through for complete everything regarding to our today's tutorial. So you can go through each and every link, right? So there is I will post you a downloadable link for this each and every project material, right? So simply you can download this all this particular project and go through your implementations, right? Okay, so that's all about for our today's tutorial. I think you have really enjoyed my today's tutorial, and it's somewhat lengthy, but anyway it's very much important and it's very much useful to know about text extraction with Python language related to Tesseract HOCR module, right? So if you guys have really enjoyed my session, and if you guys have created a good interest about this particular subject, so please give me a huge thumbs up and share this particular video with your friends. So if you have any doubt, if you have any clarification, or if you have any bug whenever you are engaging with this project, so please feel free to let me to know those your messages in the comment section. I'm happy to answer your questions whenever I have seen them. So if you have any suggestion, or if you have any message regarding to the contents which I have been created from previous times, so please let me to know them also in the comment section. I am very happy to hear you, get the feedbacks from you, right? So that's all about for our today's tutorial. Let's meet with another random tutorial. So until then, stay awesome, stay happy, and thank you very much.